Okay. Good evening, guys. Just wanted to throw together a little quick video. Kind of just. Oh, I don't want to necessarily say going over beginner builds, but kind of just getting into things you should know as a beginner coming into where wins me. Kind of addressing some things that I think are very important for you to know as a beginner. You guys will have to bear with me because it's the first video that I've actually made just kind of using my OBS software. So there's a lot that I haven't learned. So this won't really have like a lot of bullet points or anything like that. You'll kind of just have to follow my voice and kind of follow along with what I'm showing you. For those of you who like have more knowledge on this, definitely drop that knowledge in the comments of this video. That way, people who are coming in and have like more questions can seek out your knowledge. If there's anything that I kind of don't go over as in depth as others would like, or if I address something improperly, because I am still learning as well. So don't forget, I am a human. But just kind of getting into it. In the Black Gamers Tribe chat recently, I did just kind of make a post just seeing if tutorial videos would be helpful for some of you, because I know a lot of people have been asking questions, and we all have our daily lives, so people might not get to you in a manner that you feel is timely. I will post this video to my YouTube, but this will mostly just be a Black Gamers Tribe exclusive as far as elsewhere where it's going. So right now, I I was trying to steady lower my goose level to just kind of think of a build that I could use as just a beginner coming into the game. First thing that I want to say, or just kind of going down the row, you definitely want to pick weapons that fit you in your playstyle. Me personally, I am a double spear user, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna use the Inkwell Fin as well as the Vernal Umbrella, just because those are the only two really martial arts that I never really leveled up, because they're not something that I can get good rotations on, personally speaking. And then I'll kind of switch my mystic skills here just to bring us down to like a reasonable level. So one of the first things you get is Tai Chi. We'll put Meridian Touch there. What else is pretty early? Celestial Seas. What else do you get early? And I'll kind of just take everything off. Everything else off then. Remove. 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 Okay. So, first thing I want y'all to notice, how severely my goose level dropped. I see a lot of people, like, oh, I'm trying to catch up. Oh, I'm almost at 13K, etc., etc. Your goose level is affected by so much more than just what you're seeing on this screen. It also has a lot to do with your exploration mastery. You're doing open world activities like the flowers for coordination, erudation for the cat activities. So you definitely want to make sure that you're also trying to get stronger in your exploration skills as well, because those do impact your goose level. Not as much as what you see on this screen does, but it does affect the types of gear that you can use, as well as like what you can put on and what you can't put on. So just kind of going into the build that we currently have, we got the Inkwell Fan and Vernal Umbrella. And then for the inner ways, I went with some ones that I don't really use much. We got Flying Gourds, Blossom Barrage, Evasive Charge, and Steadfast Stance. These are just kind of the only inner ways that I felt would work well with the build that we're using. Flying Gourds grants us 2 charges on our Inkwell Fan, which we have at level 1. Blossom Barrage also allows our Vernal Umbrella to hold up to 2 charges on our control skill. Evasive Charge, after a perfect dodge, we have a 50% chance to get 100% endurance back. And then Steadfast Stance, just to kind of deal with the stagger, since I'm playing with 2 weapons that I don't really usually play with, I'm expecting to get hit a lot. Now, One thing I do want to, and I'm already 5 minutes in, so I do want to kind of like make this as compact as possible. One thing I do want to say, as far as you guys' builds, inner ways play a major part in your DPS. Not just I'm not your DPS, but your build as a whole, right? There are a number of different ways to get inner way notes. Me personally, I usually save up my energy, go run Sword Oath for get con- get the triple back, and then just kind of go from there and deal with the equipment that I have until I get more energy. Or if you're trying to upgrade mystic skills, I do recommend Outposts because Outposts actually give you Ebon Iron, which you use to upgrade your skills, rather than the Sword Oath, who actually just gives you equipment, gear, things to actually make you stronger as far as what you actually carry. Um, with inner ways, so one of the ways, obviously, those rewards that get you the inner way chest boxes. Um, there is also tips exchange, which I don't want to say that I don't recommend, but I would try to hold off on doing any tips exchange. What I would direct your attention towards first is conversion. Um, I'm gonna kind of slow down here because this part gets kind of confusing, but it's pretty straightforward as you can't do something that can't be done essentially. So, just for the sake of the video, let's say, for example, that I am wanting to get rid of Divine Roulette and I have 118 notes that I could put towards another inner way that I want to level up. So, the game pretty much is letting me know, hey, if you want to change this, you can only change it to one of these three. And that is simply because if you look, the symbol at the bottom, it has to follow the same path, right? And it also has to be the same color. So purple, purple, gold, gold. So like if I was to go to morale chant, because I don't have another inner way of that path, there's nothing that I can convert morale chant to. But since it's adapted or divine roulette, because I have multiple purple inner ways that follow that same path, I can take these notes and convert it into a different note. So essentially, what would happen is, and I'm not gonna do this because I'm not gonna waste my Echo Jade, and I actually do like Divine Roulette. Um, Essentially, what would happen is I would take these 118 tips from Divine Roulette, and I would switch those to go to what is this? Vital Leech, right? So the numbers would typically switch places. I would have one Divine Roulette and 118 Vital Leech. So I could use those tips to pretty much upgrade my Vital Leech to the level that my Divine Roulette is at right now, which ups my goose level. Now, when you've got all your free conversions out the way, and you've done everything that you can with that, or at least everything that you want to, then I recommend tips exchange because you can then take the tips that you don't want, um, and there is something that I want to address as just like a little side note on this, but I'll show you guys after. But you're gonna take the tips that you don't want, and you're gonna trade those in for these little things at the bottom, and these are vintage book plates, which you'll then trade in for boxes to give you additional inner ways. Now, for those of you just coming into Where Winds Meet, something really cool that they just added is a gold box that's going to reset every week or season. Not entirely sure, so don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure it's week, just like the actual shop. And essentially, you'll be able to get whatever one of these inner weight chests in here, just by kind of giving those vintage book tokens. Because once you buy all of these that are actually in here, the purple ones, they're gone. There's no more. Like I'll never get a restock on Bell Strike chest. So you want to try to. Me personally, I thought about just getting these out first and then focusing this. But I'll probably just kind of rely on this until I get the inner ways that I want done. But you go with what's effective for you for sure. Let me see, 9 minutes. Okay. Also, mystic skills. Like I said, outposts are gonna be the best way to get the materials that you're gonna need for mystic skills. Um, when you go to Wandering Paths, you'll see the difference in rewards. Don't let anybody tell you there's not a difference in the rewards. If you're going to the joint battle, right? Um, where did it go? Okay, so if you're going to the joint battle, obviously it's giving you adventure slips, tier 61 gear, outpost cosmetic chest, Crimson Leaves chest, which I've only got one of these in the entirety I've been playing the game. Um, Inner way chest, which we just covered, and then Ebon Iron, which you're gonna need to actually upgrade your inner skills past tier 3, which is the highest that you can go right now, until we come up on the breakthrough for 71, or yeah, 71 is I think when we're gonna be able to upgrade, or it might be after 66. I'm not entirely sure, but if I'm quoting correctly, I think Reddit said gear won't really change until we get to level 71, which is gonna be obviously a few breakthroughs away. We're on like a 8-day lock right now, so we're guessing probably like a month, probably next January, late January, early February, that we'll actually get to see our full power levels. But then when you go into like the actual Oath of Vengeance, it's really just gear chest. Um, yeah, just gear chest. These attunement stones are something that are very important if you're wanting to upgrade gear to max level, and then just kind of going from there. So, um, just to kind of get in a feel of how these things kind of play off of each other. When it comes to builds, one thing that you're gonna want to get comfortable with is rotations. Now, I don't necessarily play with these weapons, so this rotation is gonna be shit. But just to kind of get an idea, so let's say, for example, let's go find an enemy. Actually, there should be some along this water right here. If I'm not tripping. No. Okay, well, fuck it. We got open field. So I'll just kind of. So we're hitting with this square, square. This is our triangle. Now, I didn't know that, but with Inkwell Fan, you can charge your triangle. I'm not sure if this is something that you have to unlock, but I would just keep that in mind that you do have a charge attack on square and triangle on the Equal Fan. So we got two arts, our L2 square, which kind of puts a barrier in between us and whatever is on the other side. You cannot get through this. This does work in PvP, and it has been effective in pissing me off multiple times. And then, this L2 triangle, which kind of just gives us, a little teleporty like attack, it looks like. And then our L2X, which helps with your rotations because you're able to switch weapons while you're fighting. So for example, if I was making a rotation with this, I would probably end up doing something like square, square, L2 triangle, X to switch weapons, do the control skill, and then just kind of dig in from there. For those of you who like the aerial combat, you could probably do that rotation. So square, square, triangle, L2X, control ability, and then hold your triangle to get into the air. And then if you're on like Soul Shade or something like that, obviously you would do the piercing right there. For this one, I don't know what that is, but it you can charge it for a while too. So you would just essentially throw your fan out while they're under the control skill, depending on what distance they are. And this control skill is unblockable. This is the bane of my existence. So yeah, so that's typically what we got as of right now, right? And this is just what I'm gonna do for future videos. Is I'm gonna actually save this as a build, and we'll just kind of like slowly, as I'm kind of making the videos for everybody, I'll build this up, and then we'll see how this turns out at the very end. I guess in the next video, I'll kind of go more so over upgrading your equipment, what helps what you want to look for depending on your build, etc. So like if I'm going back to, I don't want to do too much time. Okay, so we're gonna stop right here. I hope everybody kind of got something from this video. If you did not, let me know below. I'll take some criticism. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's constructive though. Don't get on that bullshit. But yeah, and I appreciate y'all watching. If this was helpful, definitely let me know. If you'd like to see other things like this, kind of give me an idea of what you're looking for, and then I'll do my best to make that video as informative as possible, and kind of show you what I can to back up what I was able to find. But I appreciate you, Black Gamers. Y'all have a great day, and bye-bye.